Hi and welcome to this video, which is for you who grew up with a narcissistic mother. And my name is Åse Wegerif and I'm a survivor and a counselor. I'm going to start with a really powerful text that's written by Erin Pavlina, who's an intuitive coach that I follow. And this is her words. So let's go. Do not mistake an easy life for a strong soul. Steel is not forged in comfort. Gold is not refined in cool water. The qualities you most admire in others, courage, resilience, wisdom, compassion, conviction, are almost always born from hardship. Not because suffering is required, but because challenge reveals what was already hidden within. When life turns up the heat, remember that you are not being destroyed. You are being tested, tempered, and strengthened. Every time you choose to stand up after being knocked down, every time you refuse to let bitterness take root in your heart, every time you continue forward despite fear, you discover a strength that could not have been found in any other way. The fire is not your enemy. Sometimes it's simply revealing the person you are always capable of becoming. And then she gives a great tip. The next time you're struggling, ask yourself, what do I need right now? And don't ask, why is this happening to me? We know it's easy to do that, but the first question, what do I need right now, moves you towards healing. But the second can keep you stuck in suffering. So, because I'm interested in this, and because you are here and you are interested in this as well, I have noticed that a lot of people actually do have narcissistic mothers, or can also be fathers, but they have narcissists when growing up. And they've actually become people who've managed to really step out of that suffering and create a different life for themselves, which is the hero's journey. It is amazing that this can happen. It's not easy, and it's I mean, there are so many like singers, actors, people who serve in different ways, and I don't remember the names of them right now, having a mind block, but do write in the comments when you remember people like this, because it's really fascinating to see that there are so many people who have had this kind of suffering and they've turned it from the darkness of that suffering and into the light. So I'm going to share some experiences of mine as well and show you in my life how this has been. Because when I was a small child and I really suffered emotionally, I was neglected, I was on my own a lot, and I couldn't rely on comfort, protection, and all those things that little kids really need. So it was a really grim, harsh reality. And what I did, and I've seen a lot of clients do this as well, I sought refuge by going into my inner world and imagining different things, developing a really rich inner world, really fantasizing around being loved. Also, it wasn't all bright, it was also revenge thoughts and anger and despair, and but I did end up developing a really colorful, alive inner world. And that's always stayed with me. That really helps me in my life today. I mean, I don't need much help from anyone in order to find things that I'm interested in, that I find joy from. I can explore deeply into things on my own. So this is like, that's the light side, that as an adult I have a rich inner world, and I have so many things that I really love, interested in, I love music, I love cooking, I love flowers, nature, gardening, I love psychology and psychotherapy, I love spirituality, I love books and reading, self-development, I love, I can't even think about all things, but I love beautiful things, I love art, I love, there's so many things that this has kind of made me into a sort of passionate, perhaps you recognize this in yourself, perhaps you've also done a lot and really tapped in a lot in your inner world to resources in there. On the other side of this is like, it started as a flight from reality, because the reality was so lacking and so difficult. So it's also like, of course, we can get injured and come into the darkness of that, of like really coming into a dark place in ourselves, or like getting separated from reality. I mean, it's all like different variations and different degrees of this and so on. But if you can see that this could cause a problem when someone lives in a dark place inside and perhaps struggles in the here and now with separating their own projections of that to the reality. So, not saying that that's always the case though, because it can be, of course, that the reality is like that. So, yeah. So, I also developed a lot of deep knowing of what pain felt like, what suffering was like, what that shadow side of experience was like. And even as a child, I can remember thinking to myself, I'm experiencing this because I'm going to help other people. And like, even as a child. So, because I'm going to know what this is like. And it's true, it really has become like that in my life, of having a lot of therapy and then helping others and so on, and now here on YouTube. So, but of course you can get traumatized by it, and then you can try to heal then, which is a lot of work and a whole path to walk. And but when you do deal with that darkness of it, you can turn it into the light, where you end up deeply empathic, knowing, but from a more lighter perspective, because you're not swimming in the pain of it anymore. And then as a child, really being hyper reactive, so like being scared the whole time, the system that's trying to protect every person, that's always ongoing, that's always there unconsciously, like making sure that I would be, even if things weren't to do with me, I would feel like they were, I would be really reactive, I'd get hyper arousal and so on. And that's developed into, that's been healed, so it's no longer such a reactivity, it's more of a sensitivity that's left to the needs of others, because it started with from a trauma place, and then it's turned into a light sort of place. And then there's also the child that I was afraid of people, expecting them to mean badly, expecting them to not treat me well, based on all the experiences. So no wonder that I did. So then my way of coping with this, with other people, was submitting to them, was fawning. So that's how that pleasing pattern came to be. And also there's another aspect to this of becoming a good girl and like in the lacking love and being so hungry and desperate for it, trying to become what other people want us to be, and also things like becoming really good at school or becoming a perfectionist. So all these like things can be going on, all these ways that we develop. Of course, there are many ways, but these are just some of the ones that I had. And at the same time, once we heal over the reactive and the trauma of actually falling and submitting, and we gain more freedom in it, then we can come more onto the light side of actually being someone it's easy to get along with, being someone who is pleasing and who is genuinely there for other people, and someone who has also done well for themselves and developed a lot of skills with that, and has a lot to offer, and has a lot of learning, and has a lot of has developed themselves a lot. So and of course there's the part of like healing the people pleasing, so that there's a balance of actually being authentic and pleasing when you want to please, not because you always please. So and in that is a much stronger core of self-love and self-respect and authenticity that comes to be from all of these processes. So that's more of the complex developmental landscape that we're in. And I'm wondering, do you recognize this in your own life? And what are your darknesses and the light on the other side? And where are you in this? And then I want to say that if the spiritual perspective really does like a really deep or a high darkness and light, kind of the core essence of who you are, if that perspective beyond all the survival and the personality and the psychology parts, if the spiritual aspect really speaks to you, then I have a great tool for you. There's a link in the description of this video, and it's for a spirit love meditation to connect to your heart and spirit. So that's a meditation I've created especially for connecting to your heart and opening that up, and then getting in contact with your own spirit, where you can ask for guidance, and you can just tuning into that frequency brings you into a more higher frequency of love, calm, peace, wisdom, and all these good aspects of the light. So if that's of interest to you, then that is a really great tool. You can get it. It's not a big investment. You can get it for to really start the process of connecting deeply with yourself. So I'll also pop a link, if this really resonated with you, I'll pop a link to my email community in the description, so that you can also join me in my email community and get more of this. I hope this was helpful to you, and I loved it anyway to talk about this, because these are the things that I really care about. So, and I hope that this gave something good to you. So lots of birds outside, trying not to get distracted by them, but it's also so wonderful. It's the beauty of the nature. And yeah, hope to see you again soon, and bye bye.